Hi there, my name is Lauren and I'm here to talk you through the key details of the Covid-19 Youth Support Fund. I'll explain the process that you need to follow and show you how to complete the application form. This is an England-only fund that can help support running costs. It does not cover project costs. Even if you are not delivering online meetings, you can still apply. Everything you need is on one webpage. For the link to apply and for more information, go to girlguiding.org.uk and search COVID-19 Youth Support Fund, or simply search this on Google. If you have any questions about the application form or the process, you need to contact PwC directly using the contact form on the website. PwC is the company that has been commissioned by the government to deliver this fund. There are two ways that you can submit your application, either through the online portal or via email. PwC are encouraging applicants to apply via the online portal, but you may find it easier to fill in the application form on Word and send it via email. That way, you do not need to register for the portal. You may also be able to share the Word document with other Girlguiding volunteers to help and encourage others to apply. Throughout the application form, there are no word count limits, but it's important to be as succinct as possible while also answering all of the different elements within each question. We recommend that you aim for about 150 words per written question. It's important to note that if you have been invited either by Girlguiding or nominated by your commissioner to apply for funding from the Community Match Challenge, you can still apply for this fund, but only if you plan to use it to cover different costs. For example, the Community Match Challenge could for subs, and the Youth Support Fund could pay for your rent, or vice versa. You cannot double fund any of your running costs. This means, for example, if your rent costs £200 and that is covered by another funder, you cannot secure an additional £200 to cover that same cost. If, however, one funder is covering 50% of that cost, you can secure the other 50% from a different funder. We'll now start by looking at the eligibility criteria. So, the first thing you need to do is read the webpage to see if you're eligible to apply. The local youth club category is aimed at unit level. All units can apply, whether your unit is a registered charity with its own charity number, or if you haven't got a charity number, you can apply as an accepted charity. The national or umbrella category is aimed at other Girlguiding levels. You can apply if you are an infrastructure organisation, for example, a district, division, county or region that supports more than 10 units. Now have a look at the eligible costs. DCMS have confirmed that subs are an eligible cost that you can apply for. Next, you need to read the application guidance in the downloadable content section. This document is particularly helpful. You're now ready to look at the application form. Please take note of the mandatory attachments required as part of the application, as there are a few. If, after looking at this information, you think you can meet the criteria and provide the information they need, then you can start to complete the application form. So now let's look at the form. Section 1 is organisation details. Here, you must use the local details of the Girlguiding group that you are applying for. Do not use any of Girlguiding's national details. Especially do not use the national charity number, as this may cause your application to be rejected. For question 1.5, your status will either be a registered charity or an accepted charity. If your status is an accepted charity, rather than a registered charity, please tick Other and then specify that. You won't have a unique reference number as an accepted charity unless you're registered for gift aid, and therefore you would have a gift aid number. If you do have a gift aid number, you can include it here, but if not, don't worry, your application will still be considered. Section 2 is about your organisation. In question 2.6, Girlguiding delivers a girl-only service. So this is about whether you have another Girlguiding unit in the same section nearby. If you do not have another Girlguiding unit of the same section within a 20-minute walk from your meeting place, you can tick No Similar Services. If you feel you have a strong case for ticking no similar services, for example, if you're a young carers unit or a hospital unit, then you can tick no similar services. Or you could tick no similar services if you simply do not have another unit of the same section in your town. Question 2.9 is regarding volunteer numbers. Use the number of volunteers for the Girlguiding level that you are applying for. Question 2.11 is about the number of girls that you support. The age group in the box says 6 to 10. However, this fund is indeed for 5+-year-olds, so you can include all your rainbow numbers in that category. Section 3 is grants overview. Throughout this section and all others where it refers to financial information, provide all values to the nearest pound. There is no need to include the pence. Question 3.1. A cash basis is when you account for things as and when you receive or spend money. The payment could be physical cash or payments going in or coming out of the unit or level's bank account. An accruals basis is when you show income in your account when it is earned or when it is billed but not paid. For example, if you received an invoice to pay £100, you would account for that £100 on the day the invoice was received rather than the day it was paid. Most units are more likely to be working on a cash basis, but do double check with the person in your unit who looks after the finances if you're not sure. Question 3.2. This is the part where you need to work out how much money you apply for. You can apply for 25% of your annual running costs or for the financial deficit you're incurring through the lockdown from the 1st of November 2020 until the 31st of March 2021. It depends which amount is lower. So you need to do two calculations. The first one, take the total expenditure for your last signed off set of accounts. Divide it by 4. This will give you the 25% figure. The second one, work out your deficit in November and December. This will be a minus figure if you have spent more than you've got coming in. Then work out your estimated deficit for January to March and add these two figures together. Whichever figure is lower is the amount you can apply for. Question 3.3. In this question, you can explain that your unit or level is run by volunteers and therefore achieves good value for money. If you look at your annual costs and divide this by the number of girls, this will give you a cost per head. You could even go one step further and divide that figure by the number of sessions delivered for a cost per girl per session. This should demonstrate value for money. But please also write about how you've been minimizing costs at a local level to be more efficient. For example, if you're getting free rent or free supplies or other donated items. Section 4, financial viability. Question 4.2. To help you with this section, take a look at Girlguiding's finance policy, which was launched last year, as this will help you with some of the definitions and where to find further information. In the free reserves section, your free reserves are the amount of money you have available immediately, such as the amount of money in the bank or any investment account that can be spent if you need to, after you have taken into account your outgoings. For example, if you had £100 in the bank, but you know you need to spend £50 on the hall's rent next month, your free reserves would be £50. So the final figure in this table will be the remaining funds that you have immediately available once you've taken everything you know you need to spend into account. If you prepare your accounts on a cash basis, the amount of free reserves from previous years can be shown simply as the bank balance in the accounts at year end. In the working capital section, if your units account on a cash basis rather than an accrual basis, You won't have any working capital and do not need to complete this table. If you do work on an accruals basis, working capital is broken down into two elements: current assets and current liabilities. Current assets are everything you own with a lifespan of less than 12 months, so not any long-term assets like property. And current liabilities is everything you owe to other people within the next 12 months. The current ratio is the assets divided by the liabilities and then times by 100 to show it as a percentage. Question 4.4. You can talk here about how when lockdown restrictions are lifted, you anticipate our membership numbers to return due to the incredible impact of the face-to-face experiences our girls and young women benefit from and the good value for money we offer for parents. You can also add in detail about how you'll be working hard to ensure these membership numbers do recover by doing local recruitment campaigns and receiving recruitment support from National Girlguiding. If there have also been any long-term changes to your income and expenditure, detail this here too. In question 4.4.3, the funder wants to know if, without this money, you'd have to close or scale back the services your unit or level can offer. So please detail exactly what costs you wouldn't be able to meet without this funding and what the consequences are if you don't have this funding. Question 4.5, you can leave this question blank unless you have received support from the government scheme mentioned. If you are applying in the local category, you do not need to complete 4.6 and 4.7. Section 5, Learning and Evaluation. In question 5.1, your outputs are the activities you deliver to girls in your unit or at your level. So this could be the number of online meetings you're holding, the number of trainings you're providing, the number of activity packs you're sending to girls, anything in terms of what you'll be delivering and what you couldn't deliver without this funding. They also want to know the number of girls you'll reach. It's okay if some of this isn't confirmed or could change. Just give it your best estimate. Do write some free text in this section too if you can, but remember to keep it short. Section 6, the mandatory attachments. Attachment 2, management accounts. Management accounts are accounts which are updated on a regular basis during the year to help you manage your finances. It's almost like an internal report so you can keep track of your income and your expenditure. They could show your finances on a monthly, termly, or even quarterly basis. And the format of them can really vary, and you may even be keeping this information in a notebook. The key pieces of information it needs to include are how much money you've received, how much money you've spent, and if this varies to what you were anticipating, which is your budget. You would also need to have predictions, i.e. a budget, for January to March 2021 on there too. So in summary, include your actual income and expenditure from the start of your financial year until December, and then your income and expenditure predictions for January till March. Attachment 3 is a balance sheet. This is similar to management accounts, but it includes everything your unit or level owns, such as cash in the bank, property, equipment, or vehicles. Anything of value, really. It also takes into account anything you owe, e.g. unpaid rent or money owed to your local depot for a uniform order. So this document needs to include cash in hand, bank balances, and any investment your unit or level has. You'll also need to separate out any restricted or unrestricted income and expenditure that you have. Unrestricted money can be spent on anything. Restricted money has a specific purpose, which is usually separate from your day-to-day running costs. For example, if you've been fundraising for a trip or for a piece of equipment. So you'll need to provide this information from the start of your financial year until the end of October 2020. The idea here is that the funder wants to see the state of your finances before the November lockdown. For attachment 4, you need to provide your most recently published annual accounts. You need to provide a minimum of 1 year's worth, but 3 years' worth if you have them. If you use the unit accounts package that we provide, you can simply submit the annual accounts tab within that Excel sheet if it's complete and signed off for a whole year. For attachment 6, you can use Girlguiding's safeguarding policy, which applies to all Girlguiding organisations. You can find this on our website. For attachment 7, you can use the latest version of your standard termly risk assessment. Save all of these attachments into one folder for when you're ready to submit. Then finally, don't forget to sign the document on page 19. You are now ready to submit your application, either on the portal or by email. If you're applying by email, don't forget to attach the application form to the email alongside all of the attachments required. Submit your application to UK_YCSF grantadministration@pwc.com. The deadline is 5 p.m. on the 12th of February. This is when the fund closes. Applications submitted after this time and date will not be considered. Please remember to direct any questions to PwC via the contact form on the webpage, but also keep an eye out on the webpage as UK Youth will be providing further support, guidance and webinars on the application. I hope this video has been helpful. Thank you.